Okay, we are trying out a live stream just because things were looking interesting today in the OGL land. So I would have been actually on the camera doing this earlier, except Tammy had appointments and meetings, and shoot, I think I just mixed coffee and carbonated water. Well, that's an interesting flavor. So, wow, earthquakes. And today you had, actually I saw this from D&D Beyond about 15 minutes after they published it to the web. It is now 2 hours old. Originally, there was the leaked FAQ for the leaked FAQ for the 2.0 OGL. This is not confirmed. It was just an FAQ, and it seems that they are backtracking a little bit. What's really interesting is when you go to the D&D Beyond statement, you get they're like, oh, we're going to give a grace period for anyone with 1.0A content. So you got a 6-month grace period to sell off your old stuff. Your old stuff published under 1.0A is okay. But anything going forward is going to have to be on 2.0, on OGL 2.0. And OGL 2.0 is just the same as 1.0A. Well, why you got to get rid of 1.0A? They have to establish a precedent that they can revoke 1.0A. And it's beginning to look like that's very problematic, because it's looking like the intent, according to Ryan Dancy, was that it was not to be revoked. So they're doubling down on that. We can revoke it, and they're going forward with that. They're also saying, oh, well, that 20, they're now reducing the royalty from 25 to 20%. It's the same that was negotiated by one company. So now it's everybody gets the, you get 20%, everybody's on Oprah's team now gets 20%. And it will be after 750,000. Now, mighty generous of them. That's mighty generous, but I'm kind of like, I don't know. The problem there is that at any time in the future they can revoke it. Now they're also saying that according to the FAQ that it'll be 24 months notice before they change things like the royalty or the. Well, that's great, but there's nothing in the FAQ. Which was over here. There was nothing in there that indicated the 30-day, hey, here's an email, 30 days, you're gone, has been changed. So that's still in play. And I think the big thing here is that's interesting is in the D&D Beyond statement is that they're saying we have 2 goals: to be good stewards of the game. And the OGL exists for the benefit of the fans. Now, if you've watched the Ryan Dancy interview at all, you know that that's just not true. The OGL did not exist for the fans. The OGL existed for WotC. And he was given the charge of find out what's going wrong with our marketing of product and fix it. And so this was their way to fix it, that by having more connections, the illustration he used was that of a telephone. If you're the only person in the world with a telephone, the value of your telephone is nothing because you can't call anybody. But the more people that have telephones, suddenly your phone goes up in value. It's not that the phone has changed value. It's not that your phone has gone from being worth nothing to worth $200,000. No, it's gone up in value in that you can connect with more people. So that was the idea behind the OGL, that with more people in the ecosphere producing content, it increased the value of D&D. And that's what it has done. I mean, D&D is the 900-pound gorilla in the room, and therefore it's the value, the OGL built the value of D&D. So, when they say that the OGL exists for the fans, it's not true. It's just not true. They admit to rolling a 1. However, it's clear from the reaction that we rolled a 1. You think? Yeah, that was a fail. That was a fumble. Howdy, Death Hand. Dead Hand. Is it Dead Hand or Death Hand? We'll go with Dead Hand. Which it feels wrong to me because it sounds like you're in debt. But so they rolled a 1. That was a massive fail. The other, the big takeaway from this is that they're now claiming on the D&D Beyond that it was a draft, that 1.1 was a draft. And that's really not true. And I'm not the first to point that out, but they had contracts ready for people to sign. And with people being ready to sign, hey, Jake, thanks for dropping in. With contracts ready for people to sign, that was no draft. But now they're revising history. Oh, it was only a draft. We wanted input. Like Megadeth. Okay. Oh, that makes sense now. So they're number one, they're lying on, it was only a draft. 2, they're saying, OGL was only for fans. And one of the things they're making in here is that they do not want any big corporations to make sure to get an archive copy, because I'm sure there was, we should actually take a screenshot of this and save it. We'll save it for informational purposes in the future. But they don't want big corporations. And so that's the whole idea, that they're going to, after $750,000, they're going to take a 20% royalty, because big corporations should not be allowed to profit from D&D. What do you call WotC? An Hasbro. But $750,000, I mean, that's like 3 people in their garage. With a couple of Kickstarters, and they've graciously said, "Oh no, we're not going to take the royalty. The royalty will only be after $750,000, but it will be on the everything that comes in. It will not be the net. It will be, So, they're still being, mighty big of you on the grabbing the extra money. Hey, unacceptable naughty professor, good to see you." But so we've got revisionist history. They've still not released the 2.0 OGL. We've got the FAQ was leaked, and I think that was leaked by somebody on the inside going, "This is a horror show." So that's not cool. The other thing that's really important to me that's cropping up is this ORC, this Paizos ORC, open role playing. What was the C? I forget the C, but anyhow, it's ORC. It's going to be system neutral. A lot of people are signing on to it. And this is shots across the bow. This is Paizo going, "Oh, we see what you're doing, and we know it's all about us." So it's middle finger time from Paizo. And I applaud them for doing it. I think absolutely, but it's going to be system neutral, and so I think what it will do is it will create an ecosphere of where you'll be able to buy from Paizo, you'll be able to buy from Trollord, you'll be able to buy from all these different Chaosium, and that gives you options, and I think that's going to be good for the hobby. I think that what Wizards is trying to do is their fear is, we don't want another Paizo. You're creating another 20 Paizos, and too bad for you. So I love what's going on with the ORC. I don't know if I'm going to sign on with the ORC yet. still looking at it, but here's the thing. I applaud it. I'm excited about it. I'm going to report on it. I'm going to promote it. I don't know if I'm signing on it. You don't have to rush to sign on to any of these yet. Oh, creative license, Open RPG creative license. Yeah, it's a great name. And already I'm sure the memes are flying from Lord of the Rings there. The age of the OGL is over. Welcome to the age of the orc. So I'm sure those are going to be hot and heavy on Facebook and around the internet. And that's pretty cool. So somebody was thinking about it, and I don't know, and I'm wondering how all of this orcs are no longer evil are going to play into that. So I got a feeling this is really going to be really, really interesting from Paizo. So the 2.0, it's not out yet. We've got an FAQ has been leaked. We got a statement from D&D Beyond, and D&D Beyond is just revisionist history. And justification, and they're saying, everybody is going to say that they won, by us backing up, but we won too because we got the feedback we want. They didn't want any feedback. This is really pathetic. But it gave me an excuse. Check this out. It gave me an excuse to wear my 10-Car Minions T-shirt I won at ShireCon. So, and as pathetic as the 2.0 announcement from D&D Beyond is, I got to wear the T-shirt, so that was cool. Malarkey, there's a good word for it. So there. Oh, hey, I just figured out how to show comments. This is other live streams I've done. I always had the good wife actually putting them. Because I could never keep track of the live play and then keep track of the comments. So let me throw a few more of these. Yep, orc. Love that. Oh, yeah, the orc meme. It's a great meme. Eventually convert all of my catalog that uses 1.8 over to orc. Now, well, here's the thing, Naughty Professor, is that the more I dig into it, the more I really think I tend to be in agreement with Ryan Dancy that this is illegal what they're doing. They can't do this. However, they're going to assert they can do it. They might even take you to court. So I don't think you have to do it, but you have to do a threat assessment on, can I afford a lawyer? The other thing is Roll for Combat. He keeps saying, look, I would just ask for a bench decision. Make it, the judges don't want to clog up the court system. Let the judge decide right there from the bench. And because he's like, we're going to bring a 1-page document. Here's the 1 page. Here's 20 years of history of 100,000 transactions using this contract. They don't have the right to rescind it. You've got the original creator saying that was not the intent. Their own FAQ that was posted on the internet all these years said it's not going away. You can you can continue to use, if there's a new revision, you can continue to use 1.0A. So probably the safe bet, it's going to be a lot of work for you, Naughty Professor, but I don't know that you really have to do that. So I think someone suggested Oracle, which would be a better name. I don't know about Oracle, man. I like the Orc's got some appeal, and right away, I'm already thinking artwork in my head. That's I don't know, Oracle or Orc. Could have an Orc Oracle. That might work. So just watch Eric's vid. Oh, Eric already released the vid. I was chomping at the bit. The good wife was she wasn't even doing her payroll today. She had meetings with here at the house, and so I couldn't do any filming. I pretty much had to leave the room, and some of it was confidential. And so I was chomping at the bit to get to do this, and then 12 o'clock rolled around, and I had to drive her to the hair salon so she'd get her hair done, because she wants to get her hair done. So, and I'm probably going to like the results, right? So Eric got his video done. This article is so gaslighted, it only gets worse each time you read it. Yeah, it is. But here's the thing. I want to get to the, but why? Why bother in a second here? So, yeah, don't have to, but it does two things. It gets me out of for the thumb of wizards. It's also a good way to give wizard. Hey, I always appreciate a good middle finger. I was I was riding up in Plattsburgh with a deacon from the church and the Sunday school teacher, and we crowded into this pickup truck. And the deacon was an old guy, he was a nice guy, and we were going out to have breakfast on a Saturday. And the light changed, and he was just a little tad slow off of taking his foot off the gas. And the car behind him was a bunch of kids. And so they got on the horn. So he tooted back, and no. What it was they were in front of him, and they were like sleeping so he gave a little beep of the horn. And so they didn't appreciate him giving a little beep. And so one arm comes out one window with a middle finger, another out. People in the back seat turn around giving him a middle finger. So he's like, beep, 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 beep. This old guy, it was a lot of fun going down the road. And so there, and then to hear this Sunday school teacher tell the story again in church, he's like, man, I learned sign language. I didn't know. I was like, but yeah, I always do appreciate a good middle finger. And so any middle finger you can give the WotC, I'm all for it. And it's a nice cape, a nice cope. So here's the thing. After watching all of the interview with Ryan Dancy, the thing that the OGL did for WotC was it prevented people from saying compatible with D&D. And what I did not understand until watching that was apparently, and I want to go and confirm this, is that under trademark law, if it is compatible with something, you can say it's compatible. Like, I don't know if you remember back in the day when we had Ataris. I'm old enough to have played on an Atari. There was a game, I forget the name of it, and it might have been Custer's Revenge. And basically, you had this Custer figure, and you had to get him across the board, and there was these arrows coming across, and his goal was to avoid the arrows, not get hit by an arrow, and then jump on and rape the Indian squaw at the other side of the screen. It's a horrible game. But, and certainly Atari did not appreciate that, but it was an Atari-compatible game. And, so they were able to say Atari-compatible. It would, I'm sure the execs at Atari were like blowing steam out of their ears over that. So, with no OGL, if you're not under the OGL and you do something that's D&D compatible, I would just be like finger in the eye and be like D&D compatible right on the cover. Now, that's not to say you won't get a cease and desist. And you've got to have the intestinal fortitude to be like, take me to court. And, then they're going to try, and they might try to take you to court. And you just have to be like, look, it is D&D compatible. It's under trademark law. Therefore, I can say that. And I'm not using any of their terms. I'm not using any of their IP. It's just compatible. And so why not? I would say that. I would do that. And because I'm a Star Frontiers fan, I'm actually thinking of a D100 generic and put right on it, Star Frontiers compatible. So, all right, let's catch up here. With Dead Hand, but they lost. Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro are just biding their time for the movie, TV show, Baldurs Gate 3 game came out. With new fans who don't have any OGL expectations joining up and paying for content. That is true. And and to a certain extent, yeah. Here's the thing: is D&D is not a video game, and they're really attempting to make it into a video game with the microtransactions. These people from Microsoft that they brought over, they have no clue what Dungeons and Dragons is. They do not understand what an RPG is, and they're attempting to make it a video game, which is fine. You own it. You want to make it a video game. I get it. Publishing books is a pain in the butt, and clearly they're not very good at publishing books anymore because the stuff they've come out with the past year has been absolutely garbage. So yeah, they're looking, and video games, people play video games. I get it. It's a different ecosphere. But I still think all of these 5e players just became, it's that Gimli and Legolas meme. Never thought I'd be fighting for the OGL, next to a 5e publisher. No, it's all of these 5e RPGs are just different than a video game. So yeah, they're going to get the new players, but it's still there's a market for role-playing games for the social interaction. We saw that during COVID with this huge spike on social interaction and people wanting to play D&D and RPGs. So got the compatible thing out of the interview as well. It's a very enlightening interview. I'm like, that whole compatible thing lit up in my brain. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I think that's much more valuable to me than having an OGL personally. So honestly, it was split into two things: video gaming and tabletop RPGs. And I'm sure the video gaming side will end up being a lot bigger as far as, So look, yeah, it's a money grab, and they want to force all the VTTs out of business. They want it so that when people go looking for D&D, all they find is them. And I think everybody and their cousin should put D&D compatible cover their books, and just put it out there all over the internet, all over drive-through. If I know a hobby shop in Massachusetts. I know the owner, and so I'm tempted that the first thing I do that's print on demand, that I put that I put compatible on there. I'll just print it and take it and say, hey, he takes stuff on consignment all the time. Let's here on consignment. If you sell it, you sell it. I'll pick it up in 6 months if you don't sell it. But because I've had stuff on consignment with him, so I would just put it right in there, so it's like it's a real product. Again, it's me. I'm small potatoes, but there are bigger companies than me. Me, I'm practically losing money as it is, as things stand for 2022. But that's all right. I don't care. I do this as a hobby. So, for my money, I'm like, why bother? Other than I find the whole ORC by Paizo intriguing, and there are other companies doing something similar. The Shadow Dark RPG. I was Googling again and came across her open gaming license. So there are people out there who are like, that's it, forget it. But it's I think they're realizing they made a mistake, but I don't think they're going to back up all that far. I mean, it's nice that they're going, all right, you got a 6-month grace period to sell off whatever you got in your warehouse. Okay. Backlog of stuff. You've got Kickstarters that coming back from the printer. You got to unload that material. That's important to people. So I'm like, whatever. I guess that's the theme of this broadcast, is whatever gives the middle finger to WotC whatever's the poke in the eyes, Stooge style, Three Stooges style, just boop, for them. So I'm promoting don't use the OGL, slap D&D compatible on there, and Star Frontiers compatible, Gamma World compatible. Whatever floats your boat. I mean, some people, I'm more inclined to be more antagonistic. Some people are, look, I just got to run a business here. I don't need the problems. I get both approaches. So, pretty sure low and mid-level employees know it was a mistake, but higher ups want their money. Yeah. I think the break room at WotC must be really interesting, the water cooler talk, and the coffee machine talk have to be seriously. It's got to be like, people are hand to the head. And that's the thing is Roll for Combat was like, cancel your subscription, because they figured out it costs so much money to get a subscription, so much money in marketing to get a subscription. So they figure after a certain point, they're profiting from you. If you're canceling your subscription early, that's going to get to them, because then they've lost money. They haven't made back their money on you. So I'm sure this is causing some. Yes, Dead Hannah. I would agree with that. I'm sure the discussions, and I got a feeling that there were lawyers involved who were like, oh yeah, we could do this, and then we'll do this, and then afterwards somebody was like, this was your idea. Yeah. Whose idea was this? So, G.A. Hawkins 2.0 is a minor concession, but the poison pill is still there. I don't want WotC to backtrack. Yeah, I would never sign the 2.0. I would just absolutely never sign it, because they're trying to establish, if they force you to sign it, then they establish they can just change it anytime they want. And they've already said that they would. 30-day notice, here's your email, you're out. We're doing this. And if they want to just take something in the future, they want to revise it in the future, they're trying to establish the precedent they can do this, and they can deauthorize past OGLs. They can't. And I'm really hoping that at least one person goes to court with them, and the judge goes, no. The judge rules against them. So if just one person will go to court, and then the judge rules against them, they lose. They lose big, and I think they know that. Yeah, nothing says losing like we won too. I went to a Catholic high school, and it was a college prep Catholic high school. So our sports sucked. Okay, and so basically, like, if the football team scored in a game, we would celebrate. We never won. All the public schools kicked our butt, and football in particular. Now, soccer was a different story, because we had all these kids from Mexico and Japan and France. They were boarders. We had houses for them that they boarded in, and so we had all these kids, and like, they were really good at soccer. And we had this one Vietnamese kid. He had these thighs that were like the size of my chest, because I was a skinny, scrawny kid. And so like our soccer team rocked, but it was football. And so it would be like, if the varsity football team scored, we would celebrate on that. And, so nothing says losing like, well, we won too, which made me laugh when I read it in that statement. Imagine being one of the individuals publishers that got the original 1.1 stuff under NDA and did sign it. Wonder if that is still valid with the announcement of 2.0. Well, they're claiming it was a draft. They're revising history now. Oh, that was just a draft. That was not a legit contract. So I would say screenshot this and like take it to court. You know, that it was an onerous thing, and now they're saying it was a draft, so it's no longer valid anyways. And I would never sign 2.0. It's strange days indeed. You trust an orc over a wizard on the coast. That's going to be the quote of the day, Dead Hand, I think. Hey, WotC. Now we're being really inclusive. Yes, very true. Now we're being inclusive because orcs are no longer evil, right? Shame on you. I never played soccer, okay, but that was the one sport that our Catholic high school would win at, was because we had all these foreign kids and they were just good at it. So we'd mop the field on all the public school teams that we played. But I played JV football, and basically I did that just because it got the seniors off my back. I was getting hazed my freshman year, so my sophomore year I played JV football, and by playing football and taking the hits on the field in practice, they left me alone. And so then after that I ran cross country and track my sophomore, my junior, and my senior year. So Kickstarter signed a draft. Yes, that's what's funny. You know, they signed a sweetheart deal for 20%, and now they're like, oh, well, that was just a draft, and we're giving 20% to everybody. So they got in on the ground floor for a sweetheart deal that everybody gets. And I'm like, bet they want to renegotiate that now. This whole thing is a cluster. You know, the fact that they negotiated a deal, they came out and made a statement. It tells the lie on this update to where they're claiming, oh, it's just a draft. So it's revisionist history, and they're going to stick with it. And you know, and I'm sure you'll be on Facebook, you'll make a comment in some group, and somebody will be like, but that was just a draft. You guys were, Chicken Little, Sky is Falling. That was just a draft. No, it wasn't a draft. It was a legit contract. Now they're calling it a draft because it's backfired, and they've got to put a decent spin on it, and that's the best spin they can put on it. So I think it has to, the fact that they're willing to lie, it's such an obvious lie. It's such a bald-faced, obvious lie. Just tells you can never trust them. They've been lying right along. They're going to continue to lie to you. And it just tells you cannot trust them. What's really interesting, though, in the Paizo article is that no company is going to control this. Right now, they're putting this law firm with this Azora Law, which has Brian Lewis, who was the attorney that worked on the original OGL. And I guess they're looking to set up a nonprofit foundation to oversee the ORC OGL, as it were. So, horse hockey. And near the bottom of the page is that they intend to get the community feedback by releasing the leak. Yeah. No. Yeah, exactly. That was, again, it's all trying to, you can put frosting on a horse pie, a cow pie. It's still a pile of crap. I don't care how nice the frosting looks. They're trying to frost over it and make it look nice, but it's not. It's a disaster. And so again, I'm not saying that Paizo and Chaosium and everybody else signing on board with ORC are good intention, but they are motivated to do something that is right for the hobby. Yes, they're going to profit. Yes, they're looking to profit, and I don't mind them. I don't mind them making profit. When I go to a restaurant and I get good service, I don't mind leaving a tip for good service. I get bad service, the tip becomes negotiable at that point. But Paizo and Chaosium and all of them, they're doing it right. And in part, it's this whole anger. And so they're trying to generate goodwill by being we're going to do this and we're going to do it right and we're going to do it for the benefit of the fan community. They're going to benefit too, and I don't mind that. Because it's not being bent over the table like WotC was trying to do right now. So WotC lying through their WotC's lying at both ends, both sides of their mouth. The blue hair screaming inclusivity are being played by a corp for money. Yeah, that was who's the Discourse Minis. Discourse Minis made a point today in their live stream. She said that if WotC thought there was more money to be made in racism, they would be racist. But right now, they think there's more money to be made in this. They're all about making the money. They don't really care. And sure, there are people at the company that have principles, that have values. Yes. But whatever they thought would get them the most money. And, so if they thought they could get the most money by being racist, they would be racist. But they're going hard left. And, they think that's where the money is right now. But give it 30 years and the climate changes in society and culture, and suddenly it's more, racism's back. They'll go that way if that's where the money is. So, yeah. Wonder how long they're going to wait before they actually put out the OGL a week, a month. Supposedly it's coming out, and so they're just doing a little statement. I don't know. And I'm betting there'll be more leaks. The FAQ was leaked. I'm betting there'll be more leaks. And it's just, I think they're trying to figure out what can we do to navigate this. Is what's going on. So if publishing an OGL will be the path of navigating this, they'll do that. If not, they'll spin it out. I got a feeling you're right, though. Could be a week, could be a month. They could put it out today, but I think they're gonna drag their feet. So it's not really nefarious intent by signing on the ORC. It's doing what the OGL, did. Spread the use and diversity of the game. Yeah, and again, that's the thing, is that it got more people, part of the ecosphere, got more people with telephones talking on the telephone, if you could use that Ryan Dancy analogy. And so that enhanced the value of having a telephone, because there were more. So with signing on to ORC, you're going to have more and more people. And if you're a customer and you like the ORC thing, and it's going to be, apparently it's going to be system agnostic. You'll be able to use it with Chaosium, be able to use it with Pathfinder. I think that's just going to be good. Just got here. Did another leak come out or something? No. The thing is I was going to be all over the leak when it leaked. But the good wife was doing payroll here from the house, and then she had to be on with HR, and it was confidential, and I had to leave the room, and so I was chomping at the bit, and then I had to, she doesn't drive my pickup truck, and one of the kids has the car, so I had to drive her to her hair appointment. So I'm just getting on now for this. I've been chomping at the bit to do this. So OGL, you can't say that. ORC. A reference to Blazing Saddles, and God bless you for that. I love Blazing Saddles. It was so irreverent, and of course, it's so inappropriate these days. But yeah, King Kothar was just covering the article. Yeah, they put out an article on D&D Beyond. Put out a statement, but it's revisionist history. So yeah, it's dndbeyond.com. You can find a statement. Maybe I can figure out how to put it. There we go. And then there's this guy, Andreas Walters, and I was pursuing this. This is what other people were going off of on the FAQ leak. And I did not find the full text here in it, but I did find his original post on Twitter. And so this is unconfirmed, and I'm still trying to dig up the full leak on the FAQ, because this doesn't look like an FAQ, but I have not fully dug around the D&D Beyond site either. But yeah, so let's back up here. Put out an article, just shared. Should probably be put in the description as well. Yeah, I'll put what links I have in the description. Doing our podcast shortly. Where's your podcast, Dead Hand? I'll come by and be part of the peanut gallery for sure. Let's see, a perfect example of gaslighting. Yeah. Yeah. Gaslighting. It's such the thing lately, isn't it? I don't know. Just make something original instead of piggybacking off D&D. No better than Walmart stealing brands and making knockoffs. Well, actually, you can make your own game. Game mechanics cannot be copyrighted. Just make your own game, and I would just slap D&D compatible on it. Don't use the OGL, and because that's what the OGL did for WotC, is it prevented people from saying D&D compatible. But we all knew it was D&D compatible. We just, bought and used it anyways. But I think slapping D&D compatible on it would irritate them. But again, I like being a little confrontational, until I don't. But so the dice are screaming. All right, so I will check that out, Dead Hand. And as an independent publisher and lifelong hobbyist, I went from liking Dungeons & Dragons and being neutral about WotC to vehemently, outspokenly, unabashedly hating them. Yeah, nobody likes a big corporation strong-arming anyone. Nobody, like I play Star Frontiers. That's my go-to game. And we have the feature in Star Frontiers, Megacorps. The Megacorps are sometimes the bad guys, and sometimes the PCs are working for them, but the Megacorps not necessarily your friend. They're probably just using you. I can't wait for my mothership Kickstarter rewards there that they did of the corporate legalese documents for the players to sign. Here's your mission, and it's got a lot of blanks you can fill in. The PC's names and the objective, but there was like a lot of fine print in there, and so I can't wait to see those and add those to my gaming, where it's like, here's your contract for this mission, and the small print has ways that the PCs are getting screwed, and you need to mind that. And so I'm totally looking to add that to my Star Frontiers game. So that was why I backed the Mothership Kickstarter. True. Some companies are benign, and some companies realize that by giving stuff away, it actually benefits them. Like Bane.com. Bane.com, the publisher Bane, Baen, they give away books, and they just give them away. And you can go online to their lending library. They have a free library of books they give away, multiple, e-reader, Kindle, multiple formats. And then, like, if you don't have a Kindle, doesn't matter. We've made each chapter of the book a separate web page. And so I've been at work reading a book, just clicking the next chapter, and reading it, and having it up in one tab and doing my work and so on and so forth. So some companies are benign. Some companies realize that by giving away, and Bane always gives away like their most popular authors, first 1 or 2 books in their most popular series, because they know they're going to sell more books, because this guy's got 12 books published in that series. You get hooked. Next thing you know, you're buying books. And I'm okay with that, but I love them because they give away free books. I can download them, to the iPad. We used to have the Kindle. So, I love Bane. I don't feel like they're trying to screw me over. I abandoned 5e years ago, dragged my group to the OSR. Honestly, Call of Cthulhu is vastly superior experience. I'm still waiting to play in a real Call of Cthulhu game. I was at ShireCon and they had 5e Charlie Brown Cthulhu game. It was just 5e with the Peanuts gang. Call of Cthulhu elements were just kind of a wallpaper. It was not, from what I understand about Call of Cthulhu, it was not really Call of Cthulhu. It was just 5e superheroes, and we were playing Peanuts, the Peanuts gang. And, it was fun. Had a great time because most of us were a certain age, so we all sat around as kids watching those Peanuts specials. But it was a fun game, but it was just 5e. So I'm still looking to play in some honest goodness Call of Cthulhu. And I thought I was going to get to do that at North Texas RPG Con this year, but it turns out I've got 2 daughters graduated from high school and at the same time in 2 different states. And it falls during the time we were going to be in Texas. So I got to be a good father. I got to play the good father. Bane also does community service, determining what book they should reprint. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I used to be a huge David Weber fan, and one of the things I used to do, I'd go to a used bookstore and I would see a David Weber book, particularly on Basilisk Station. I would just buy it, and so I always had extra ones, and I would hand them out to people. And I got my sister-in-law. She was into Hyacinth, who writes all those novels set in Florida. I handed her one at Christmas, and she started reading it, and she was on the 3rd book, sitting on the couch, and my brother and I were playing computer games, and all of a sudden she looked over at me from the couch, and she was like, "You son of a bitch!" And Tim and I just laughed, and we laughed because we both knew she was now hooked on David Weber, and which was okay because Tim had all the books. So, yeah, I love Bane. I love Bane, how they just give stuff away. My first Bane book was I walked into Barnes & Noble on a sales call, and I had to kill time, and I was just getting a cup of coffee, and I'm grabbing something off the shelf, and I see this $1.99 special trade edition of On Basilisk Station by Weber, and I thought, whatever, right? Started reading it. I had to leave the store with it. I mean, and for $1.99, why not? So, yeah, that was the beginning of my addiction on David Weber. So, at any rate, there's not much to say other than WotC still sucks. They're still trying to screw people over. The OGL 2.0, from the leaked FAQ, from the statement on D&D Beyond, it still looks like a poison pill. They're still not releasing the OGL. And it's just not, it's not looking good. And other companies are going out of their way to be like, we're going to do ORC. We're going to do, we've got a Black Flag project. Shadow Dark is going to have an OGL. You can publish, so yeah. I absolutely agree. WotC still sucks. It is what it is. I think they're going to transform themselves from a RPG company to a computer game company. Let's just face it. And when you can go online and Paizo has all their Pathfinder rules, the rule, not the lore, but the rules are available online for free. You just access it. And now I'm hearing they've got a free character builder. You can roll up a character. They got a free online utility. I'm like, Paizo's looking pretty good. They're looking like what Wizards of the Coast should have been. Let me just go back to King Kothar's comment here. Renaming the OGL seems like a tactic to muddy the water. I think we should call the not the 1.0A. That is an OGL. What WotC's putting out, I think we should call it the closed gaming license. Call it the CGL. I think we should insist upon that every chance we get. Call it the closed gaming license. That's what it is. It is not an open gaming. It's repressive. A few more live streams have popped up. Roll for comp. Yeah, he said he'd be back on again today. And so I will be checking him out. And even probably never play it. I'm ordering. Pathfinder books are 25% off. So I would jump on that. Particularly if they've got a thick, expensive one, I would jump on 25% off. Now's the time to grab it. I have no problem with Wizards of the Coast Hasbro going the direction they want. And that's the point is they're screwing with people who have been making a living. And I know in your case in particular, Unacceptable Naughty, you've got a large and diverse OGL library on a drive-through, and you're getting screwed with. And that's just not cool. With last name Williams. Yeah. Well, as a Star Frontiers fan, there's a special place in the Nine Hells for Lorraine Williams. She is well despised in the Star Frontiers community. I've been referring to it as the not OGL. It's Well, I just drop open and close gaming license. There's nothing open about and there won't be, because they are looking to they are not looking for openness. They are looking to control, and they're looking to drive people from the market. Their goal is to prevent somebody like Paizo from making money. We don't want Paizo making money. If Paizo's making money, they're stealing money from us. And if Paizo creating D&D content, Troll Lore Games creating D&D content, it was just broadening the market, and it just made it a deeper, broader pool, and you made more money. And the fact that D&D did how much money last year? To say that, oh, these big corporations are not all that big. You're just being greedy. You're the big corporation. That's the joke here. Off for the core book is starter set only. Oh, my bad. I had heard that on a live stream, and I had not had a chance to go over there and look at it. Like I said, I had to run the good wife to the hairdresser today, and probably going to get a call to come pick her up shortly. So we'll be wrapping this up. I love this new OGL, as in new TSR. I could roll with that, just like new TSR. Sad thing I was rooting for. What? Yeah, we can just drop the C and call it Watt. Rhymes with rot. I was rooting for WotC to crush new TSR. WotC lawsuit against Mario Real, and why hope they win now? They're any better than Mario. Well, Look, Mario Real, who has unmasked himself as Justin Lanassa, I will say that publicly, and he can sue me if he wants. But we've got the receipts to demonstrate it's Justin. He attacked my daughter. My daughter was special needs. My daughter was born with Apert syndrome. It's like 3 births in a million. So I'm a little sensitive there. You want to attack. Went after Dawn Samora's daughter who passed away, and then like said nasty things to Dawn. I mean, that's just that's a special low. He's gone after trans and look, nobody deserves to be treated like that. Nobody deserves to be treated that way. Whether all right, so you're heterosexual, you don't do that. Doesn't mean that that's not a person. Doesn't need to. I can't go there. And so I want to see Justin Lanassa, Mario Real, and New TSR crushed. And if the instrument of that crushing is WotC, then I'm rooting for them to crush him. There's obstacles to their yeah. What's yours is ours, and we're going to take it. Justin Lanassa, yeah, I agree with that. He because his comments and posts on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube are just borderline over the line nasty. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, personally, JL is likely more evil. And here's the funny thing, as because my private investigator actually is the good wife, and she is a wizard at digging up your stuff online. Like she went online and was like, here's Justin Lanassa's social security number. Here, printed me out a list of all his addresses, property he owns in and around Wilmington, and so on. I mean, she just digs up the stuff on you. Dave Simpson, she was like, oh yeah, here's when he lost this job. Here's when he lost that. I mean, she's just a wizard that way. It's scary. Like, never piss off, note to self, never piss off my wife. It could be rather ugly for me. Right. So, she's just good that way. And as I dug into Justin Lanassa's life, this guy could have had a really good life, businessman doing well, beautiful kid, married, and he has just self-destructed his life in a way that is just it's sad. I actually feel sad when I look at it. I don't feel sad for him, but I feel sad I'm thinking the potential that was there that was there, that's been destroyed through his arrogance and is bad. So it's lawful evil versus chaotic evil, which is worse, really. That's a nice analogy. And my wife can burn water on a cold stove. Where did you find it? I found mine online dating, and it was and online dating is a cesspool sometimes. And so I had gotten out of online dating, and she had been a widow for a certain period of time, and just decided, look, I know what I want, and why should I wait? So she got back in the game, and I had been like 8 months out of online dating, and I was feeling a little lonely, and I thought, I don't know, one more time I'll dip my toe. And so literally like we both got in, we both saw each other's profiles, we started talking, and then we couldn't stop talking. We got on the phone, and then about 3 a.m, I says, why don't you just meet me at Denny's? Because it's the only place open around here. And we'll have breakfast. And it was love at first sight. So I met her online dating in one of the worst possible. It's considered, this online dating site is considered the one for bottom feeders. Believe it or not, I actually heard that. Ooh, that one's for bottom feeders. I don't know. It's just they had a profile. I can read the profile and I can know what the other person's looking for by reading the profile. I just got good at it. So that's how I met my wife. So white pages, people finder, public records. Yeah, Tammy's just really good at this. And so I don't even try to recreate the wheel. I'm just like, babe, can you look up so-and-so? When, look up, Dave Johnson, Justin Lanassa, Dave Simpson. I just have her do the digging, and then she prints me out a little thing, and I start going through it. So yeah, Denny's is so bad, man. But my favorite line, one of my favorite lines from Casablanca is, "We'll always have Paris." So I tell her, "We'll always have Denny's." Sporty Paizo is like sporting Stalin over Hitler. Both terrible sides. Why the hell would anyone want to give them power? Wizard of the Coast has. Oh, I don't know. I have not played Pathfinder. Because Pathfinder, when it came out, it was 3.5 essentially, and I hated 3.5. I was like, I'd rather stick sharp sticks in my eye than play 3.5 again. I was done with it, so I never went over to Pathfinder. I am all for an ecosystem where a number of companies are doing something like ORC that is going to be system neutral. And so if you want to buy from Chaosium, you want to buy from this other company, yeah. And it's going to all be the same standard, so you'll be able to use it. I'm all for that. Whether you like or hate Paizo, whatever. I hate Games Workshop. I still buy their paint handles. Well, after you buy 2 or 3, you don't need to buy another one. But there's still things. I hate Games Workshop, but there's still things I buy from them that I'm like, all right, look, their washes. I love their washes. I just buy them and use them. Paint handles. But it's a love-hate relationship with Games Workshop. So I feel you on the Paizo. If you've got an issue with Paizo, man, I feel you on that. Found mine. It's all right, Hawkins. That's funny. Denny's is like more depressing. I agree. I'll still eat at IHOP. I hate eating at Denny's, but I really wanted to meet this woman, and it's 3 a.m. I can't hang up the phone. I really want to meet her. And so it was like, meet me at Denny's. It's the only place open around here. For one, ORC is supposedly going to be owned and maintained by a nonprofit rather than Paizo. At least that is their intent. Yeah. So if that follows through, and you don't have to sign on with us right away, I think there's plenty of time. I'm working on something that won't even go into ORC. I'm working on a D100 generic sci-fi game that will be Star Frontiers compatible. So ORC isn't supposed to be controlled by Paizo. It's supposed to, yeah. So yeah, everybody's shining in. Look, but again, if Paizo is just cooperating with a bunch of other, and in this market, in this situation, getting a bunch of gaming companies together to agree upon stuff and to say, all right, let's do this, and then we'll have a standard that everybody recognizes and uses, that will function like the OGL did and have an SRD, then that'll be a good thing. So whether or not, the company were jerks or were repressive, or, maybe they fired somebody that you like, and so you're like, I don't like that company anymore. That's fine, but the fact that they're cooperating with a wider group of people, I'm all for that. Met my wife playing World of War. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Waffle House is to Denny's what Denny's is to IHOP. I've never seen a Waffle House. when I was a kid, and this is probably gone away. I remember when we were traveling, eating at a Sambo's, and that's probably like a Waffle House. So it's Publishing League of America. The League of Extraordinary. I love that. That's a great. So jealous. He's a house close enough to dine at. Yeah, lucky it wasn't a. Illicit deals at 3 a.m. Oh my God. I don't want to know. Hawkins, that was Ventrilo. So, yeah, the conversation has spiraled out of control. But definitely, I'm all for ORC. I'm all for it being controlled by a nonprofit or a third party that's not in publishing. Like for right now, I guess it seems it's that law firm, that Azora Law. So I'm all for that because they're saying, look, we're not trying to be the next WotC. We're not looking to set everybody up so that you count on this, you publish under this, and then 20 years later, the rug gets ripped out from under you. And now your whole au revoir of work that you've been publishing, hundreds and hundreds of titles at drive-through is now in jeopardy. Because somebody sees dollar signs and they're like, we got to get our fair share, which is really an unfair share. So, back in the 80s, Denny's wasn't bad. I used to go there for chicken fried steak and it wasn't bad. But the last couple times I've gone there, I've been like, all right. The coffee and the rye toast are okay. Everything else is sketchy. So we'll smother it in Tabasco sauce just to hopefully kill germs and, make it palatable. That one. Women game. Yeah, absolutely. Tammy games with me all the time. And, I'm almost not allowed to run a game and not have her in it, practically. Is that the lawyer responsible? Yeah. And again, to me, that's the selling point. That this lawyer who did the legal side of the 1.0A is heading up the ORC. So I'm very interested in this. I'm not rushing to sign on it, but I think it's very exciting because I had been thinking like, I got to get into publishing for fantasy, even though I'm so wired into sci-fi all the time. So I think we're going to wrap this up, and because I'm expecting the phone call from Tammy to come pick her up at the hairdresser, but I just wanted to hit this stuff. Was chomping at the bit to cover these leaks, and I just couldn't get to it because of circumstances and had to delay till now. But thanks for coming by. Thanks for all the participation, and I appreciate everybody. Hawkins, you made me laugh today, dude. But definitely. And again, thanks, John. Appreciate it. So this is Tom for Tabletop Tap Room signing out, saying thank you and keep on gaming.